Oh, excuse me. Chapter 16 of the Halloween Tree. The unemployed of all midnight Europe shivered in their stone sleep and came awake, which is to say that all the old beasts, all the old tales, all the old nightmares, all the old unused demons put by, and witches left in the lurch, quaked at the call, reared at the whistle, trembled at the summons, and in the dust devils of propulsion skimmed down the roads, flirted skies, buckshot through shaken trees, forged streams, swam rivers, pierced clouds, and arrived, arrived. Which is to say that all the dead statues and idols and semi-gods and demigods of Europe, lying like a deadfall snow all about, abandoned in ruins, gave a blink and start and came as salamanders on the road, or bats in the sky, or dingoes in the bush. They flew, they galloped, they skittered. To the general excitement and amazement and much babbling shout from the fringe of boys leaning out, Moundshroud leaning with them as the mobs of strange beasts came from the north, the south, east, west, to panic at the gates and wait for whistles. Shall we drop white-hot boiling lead on them? The boy saw Moundshroud smile. Heck no, said Tom. Hunchback already did that years ago. Well then, no burning lava, so shall we whistle them up? They all whistled. And obedient to summons of the mobs, the flocks, the prides, the crush, the collection, the raving flux of monsters, beasts, vices, rampant virtues gone sour, discarded saints and misguided prides, hollow pumps oozed, slid, slickened, pelted, ran, bold and right up the sides of Notre Dame. In a flood tide of nightmare, in a tidal wave of outcry and shamble, they inundated the cathedral to crust themselves on every pinion and upthrust stone. So here ran pigs, and there climbed Satan's goats, and yet another wall new devils which recobbed themselves along the way, dropped horns and grew new ones, shaved beards to sprout tendril earthworm mustaches. Sometimes a swarm of only masks and faces scuttled up the walls and took the buttresses' heights, carried by an army of crayfish and wobbly, crotchety lobsters. Here came the heads of gorillas, full of sin and teeth. They came men's heads, pardon me, with sausages in their mouths. Beyond danced a mask of a fool upheld by a spider that knew ballet. So much was going on that Tom said, My gosh, so much is going on. And more to come there, said Moundshroud. For now that Notre Dame was infested with various beasts and spidery leers and glooms and masks, why, here came dragons chasing children, and whales swallowing Jonas, and chariots chock full of skull and bones, acrobats and tumblers, yanked out of shape by demi-demons, limped and fell in strange postures to freeze on the roof. All accompanied by pigs with harps and sows with piccolillos, and dogs playing bagpipes, so the music itself helped charm and pull new mobs of grotesques up the walls to be trapped and caught forever in sockets of stone. Here an ape plucked a lyre. There floundered a woman with a fish's tail. Now a sphinx flew out of the night, shed its wings, and became a woman and lion, half and half, settled to snooze away the centuries in the shadow and sound of high bells. Why, what are those? Cried Tom. Moundshroud, leaning over, gave a snort. Why, those are sins, boys! And nondescripts. They crawl the worm of conscience. They looked to see it crawl. It crawled very fine. Now, whispered Moundshroud softly, settle, slumber, sleep. And the flock of strange creatures turned about 3 times like evil dogs and lay down. All beasts took rot, all grimaces froze to stone, all cries faded. The moon shadowed and lit the gargoyles of Notre Dame. Does it make sense, Tom? Sure. All the old gods, all the old demons, all the old nightmares, all the old ideas with nothing to do, out of work. We gave them work. We called them here. And here they will remain for centuries, right? Right. They looked down over the rim. There was a mob of beasts on the east battlement, a crowd of sins on the west, a surge of nightmares on the south, and a fine scuttle of unnamed vices and ill-kept virtues to the north. I, said Tom, proud of the night's work, wouldn't mind living here. The wind crooned in the mouths of the beasts. Their fangs hissed and whistled. Much thanks. Goodbye.